Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome one and welcome all to We Are One, the talk show with your girl, Angie Fox. Hey, call your neighbors, call your friends, call everybody that you know and tell them to tune in now and stay tuned in to the number one empowerment platform in the land. That's right. That's www.womeninspirationalradio.org and also the Empowerment Podcast Network.com. We Are One is here for you. A safe place where we come together and talk about how to overcome depression and even suicidal mentality. So again, I say, welcome, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. We are one. The movement, women empowerment organization that brings to you We Are One, the podcast show. I am not rolling alone today. I am with a very special guest. It is my pleasure and my honor to be sitting in the presence of such a wonderful, strong, beautiful sister queen that I'm just meeting. But I tell you what, it's the beginning of a brand new day. God is surely moving. And I want to introduce to each and every one of you, there's only one, the very special, strong, beautiful, one-of-a-kind sister, Marie Pringle, all the way from Sumter, South Carolina. She's in the house with me today, and we are going to be talking about strength in the face of adversity, overcoming grief. And I introduce to you all, help me welcome this beautiful sister queen, Marie. How are you, my darling sister?
I'm doing well.
She's doing well. Very calm, very polite, very serene, very beautiful. I'm doing well. Well, I'm so glad you're doing well. Thank you for accepting the invitation to be with us today.
You're welcome, and thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Now, as I stated, we're going to be talking about overcoming grief today. As many of you know, probably all of you know, if you don't, here you go. I'm telling you now. This show focuses on helping people to overcome, helping people to renew their minds by the word, transform their lives, and be able to walk in their wholeness, their deliverance, their healing. Overcoming depression and suicidal mentality has been my bag since I myself committed suicide in 2007. When I received my deliverance in 2012, I have been adamant and radical about helping others to overcome suicidal mentality, depression, and all other mental health issues or sicknesses, let's just call it what it is, that causes us to live beneath what God has ordained for us. So if you're wondering why this beautiful queen is sitting with me today, I will tell you now, she is the mother of a young lady who took her own life. Now, if you're anything like me and you have children, or even if you don't, and have never lost a child, then the only thing you can say is what I'm about to say. I don't know that pain. But we do recognize that everything that the enemy meant to destroy us, when we are walking according to God's will and his purposes for our lives, he will turn that thing around and work it out for our good. So today, Marie is going to talk to us, help us, and give us some tools to help all of you who are listening. If you are experiencing this great loss yourself, or if you know somebody, or if you know somebody who knows somebody, this sister queen is coming forth today to speak her truth in the voice of her daughter. Talk to us, Marie, about your experience today and what's going on? What is that God has given you to share with us today? Who are you?
I am the mother. I lost my 22-year-old daughter, September the 29th, 2021. She died by suicide. That journey have been a roller coaster of emotions. I went through all of the emotions, but in the process of going through those emotions, one of the hardest things that I dealt with was anger.
Mm.
And in the process of dealing with that anger, I wanted to blame everybody.
Yeah.
But I first had to stop and look at myself. And I had to focus on how would my daughter want me to proceed? Would she want me to stay in that state that I was in? Because I myself, after losing her, I had thoughts of suicide. I wanted to blame everybody around me for the actions that they portrayed towards me. But it got to a point, God had to isolate me from everybody. And God had to get me to work on me. And in the midst of working on me, I had to look at the woman in the mirror. And I had to take ownership for everything, me as a person, that I did. And that's when I took my life serious. I took my survival serious. Because even though I look like I'm okay all day, every day on the outside, I have those days where I'm a ball of mess.
Yeah.
But through that mess, God gives me strength to keep pushing. Every day is a survival. I'm in survival mode. Through my strength of losing my daughter, I know there's people all around the world that have lost a child, lost a loved one. And I know you're probably sitting there wondering, why did this happen to me? But don't question God. Our life story was written before we was born. We know how we got here, but we don't know how we're going to leave here. So don't question God for what has happened. Take that time to focus on you. Get your life together. In the midst of losing my daughter, it saved my life.
Wow. Hold up. Now you will have to explain that, because even in my wildest imagination, and probably many of our listeners at the same time thinking this, the strength that you're talking about, where you had to focus on you and live, explain to me and those of us listening, how in the world did losing your daughter save your life?
Well, I'm going to get to the nitty-gritty of it.
Yes, let's do that.
I wasn't always where I am now.
Okay.
I can open up and honestly say I was messy. I can open up and say that I haven't always walked this walk here. But in the midst of the being messy, that's not where God wanted me. God have been trying to get my attention for years, and I kept running.
Mm.
The people that I was drawn to, there were situations that kept hurting me, and I still never took heed to what God was trying to get me to do.
Okay.
So God said, since you don't want to take heed to what I've been showing you throughout the years, I'm going to get your attention one way or the other. Wednesday, September 29th, 9:24 p.m., God took my daughter.
No, let me stop you right there before you continue, for the benefit of someone who's listening. God is not the killer.
Yeah.
God comes to give us life,
Yeah.
life more abundantly. We don't like to say this, and we don't like to admit this, but the truth of the matter is, God didn't take your daughter. The enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. And what he does, my beautiful people, is he attacks us in our minds. He attacks us in our minds, and his goal is to destroy us by getting us to believe not what God says or who God is, but to believe the lies that he tells us about ourselves. So when life happens to us and things happen that hurt us, and we begin to believe when he says you're no good, nobody cares about you, nobody wants you anyhow, you should just go ahead and die, nobody's going to miss you, and all those other ugly things. It's only when we come into agreement with what he says that destruction comes against us. The pain your baby had been feeling and must have felt and been dealing with was in her mind. And the enemy convinced her that everybody, including mama, would be better off if she was gone and the pain would stop. And that's what left behind for the family to encounter. So don't think God took your loved one, your baby. The enemy is the only one to blame. And with that understanding, we have to realize that that is not what God wanted for her. And I don't believe that's what she wanted. What is her name?
Nazira.
Nazira. Beautiful name. We'll find out what that means after a while, because I know there's a reason why you named her that. But like many others, and even myself, when I committed suicide, I blamed God for many things that happened in my life. I was angry with God for things that happened in my life to hurt me. But the truth of the matter is I had to realize that it was not God. He was not the author of suicide, self-hatred, and all those things that causes us to harm ourselves or take our lives. So remember that as you are listening to this mother's powerful journey of strength that I can't even imagine. Because when I look on her and I listen to her, I only see and hear God. Because it's God's strength that causes her to be able to sit here today and have a voice for her baby to help somebody else overcome. So on that day, which I believe is the worst day of your life, the worst phone call you could have ever gotten, the worst thing that could have ever happened to you, and I'm talking about as a mom, because I am a mom, on that day, when your baby made a decision to take her life, because that's what we're talking about, to stop the pain that she was in.
Yeah.
It set something in motion for you that brought you to where you are. And I know you said you had to isolate yourself. God had to get you alone so you could look at the woman in the mirror. So as you speak to us, continue speaking to us today. We already know where that strength comes from. But talk to us about that part of your journey where you went from the worst pain in the world and even considering suicide yourself to get rid of that pain, to sitting here talking about helping somebody else, and that transformed your life. And your daughter's death saved your life. Take us to that. Somebody else needs to know.
I had to look at the person that I was. I had to want to live. And by me wanting to live, through me living, I know my story, my daughter's story, would help save somebody else's child, would save somebody else's parent. because like I said, it's a struggle every day. So I had to focus on me. I had to want to live. You have to put in the work for it. It's not something that's going to happen overnight.
Right.
A lot of people will talk about it, but when it comes to putting in the work for it, that's the hard part.
What does that mean to you, putting in the work? Because even to hear you say, I had to want to live. How is it, what is the work that you had to put in to get to the place where you wanted to live?
I had to go sit down with a therapist, and I'm not ashamed to admit it.
That's right.
And with sitting down with my therapist, it required me to address the little girl that was broken from my past. All of the things that kept me bound, I had to freely be able to open up and speak about it.
Wow.
I had to forgive people that have wronged me throughout my life and were never able to look me in my face and apologize. I had to forgive those people. And in the midst of forgiving those people, for my peace of mind, I had to cut ties.
As you were healing.
Yes. See, the thing a lot of people don't realize about healing, you can't want to start the process and hold on to the things that kept you bound, things that broke you. I had to want to save myself.
All right.
And in the midst of saving myself, I had to realize everything that was attached to me wasn't a benefit to me. So I chose me over everything else. Because a lot of people that's dealing with grief right now, what I'm about to say, I know a lot of y'all can relate to it. After losing a child, your mind is not, it's like a cloud of smoke, and you're not thinking clearly. So your natural reaction is to want to run, just go. You don't want to sit still, because by going, you're thinking that it's going to keep your mind off of the loss of your child. And everything that I'm speaking about is what I went through. I kept running because I figured if I ran and kept busy, I wouldn't focus on my child is not here anymore. But at some point, you're going to have to sit still. And you're going to have to come to terms with your child is not here anymore. And you're going to have to find a healthy solution to be able to deal with the loss. Because grief is something that you will deal with every day of your life for the rest of your life. It's up to you, and I pray whoever hears my voice decide they want a healthy solution, because it's possible.
Yes.
I'm a living witness. And everything that I've been through, I'm going to share with the world, because somebody needs to hear it.
That's strength. Stop
focusing on everybody else's problem, because you have to be selfish with you right now. You have to think about what you're going through and how you're going to survive. I took my daughter's death, like I said, I wanted to save myself. So I had to work on me. I do daily affirmations.
Yeah.
I pray every day.
Yeah.
I keep healthy, positive people around me. Anything that comes to disturb my peace, I remove it.
That's what I'm talking about. Yes.
Because like I said, I'm in survival mode, and I don't have time to deal with the he say, the she say, all of that. And you have to lean on God, because man will walk away when you think they're going to be there. This is when you find out who your true circle of friends are. When you have lost your child. God had to show me everybody you thought was your friend, those are not the people that I want in your circle.
Yeah.
So God had to remove him. He had to show me. You need to surround yourself with positive people.
Yeah.
This grief is a life-changing event. And it's something that should be taken serious.
Absolutely. So it sounds to me like you actively engage in many different tools to help you, not just as you're overcoming, because I don't know if you ever really get over it,
No.
overcoming the loss of your baby, but the necessary strength and what you needed in your life to start your new life, to be who God called you to be. So now you're walking around here every day, though still grieving the loss of your baby, but leaning on the strength of God as he is taking you to higher heights in him and using you. Using you. How does it feel to know that God is using you after all of this? After such a great loss, God has need of you. And here you sit telling the world that in the midst of grief, sorrow, and even heartache, God has called you to be his voice. That's awesome, sis. So what has he given you? You have started a movement. Tell us the name of it so we can look for you. What is the name of the movement you started with your new life?
Everything that I do is because of my daughter.
Yeah.
And I'm going to hold up. I know you probably can't see it, but everywhere I go, where it pertains to my daughter,
Yeah.
this is my daughter's name. I'm not going to say was, but my daughter's name is Nizera. Everybody called her Nana. And because of my daughter, my business name is Nizera's Voice.
Nizera's Voice.
Yeah.
What a tribute. What an honor. Baby girl, your mom is your voice. God has taken what the enemy thought he would destroy her with and given her new life.
And can I say something?
Go ahead.
And I also want to share with everybody that's listening. While you're going through that grieving stage, don't let nobody tell you how to grieve.
That's important.
You're going to grieve at your own pace. And everybody grieves different. A healthy solution, when it comes to taking medication, don't never let nobody make you feel like something is wrong with you, you're crazy, whatever the case is. Because I'm going to share this. In the midst of going to therapy, I still go to therapy. I go once every Friday, and I've been going since November of 2021. I have been diagnosed with anxiety and depression. And I take medication. And I'm not ashamed to say it, because that's all part of my survival. So there's people out there that feel they don't want to go to therapy because of what people are going to say. Understand, this is your life. You have to do what's best for you, regardless to what people are going to say. Because in the society that we live in, people are going to talk regardless.
There you go.
But do what you have to do for you. Love on you and take care of you. Because if you don't take care of yourself, nobody else will.
Y'all heard it here from the one who is living it. We thank God for everybody who has tuned in and is listening to this episode today. Yes, she's coming back. Yes, there's much more to talk about. Yes, this beautiful sister queen, Marie Pringle, Nizera's Voice, LLC, is going to be all up in your face because God has given her a new life and much to say to help you, and to help you too. So tune in every day to the #1 empowerment platform in the land, empowermentpodcastnetwork.com. And watch out now, because Nazira's voice is coming with her own podcast real soon. We welcome you. We thank you. We thank God for you, for being here today, Miss Marie, my new sister. And I'm looking forward to having you.
Can I say something real quick?
Absolutely.
It's Coach Marie. I'm
Coach
a
Marie.
I'm a coach as well.
She's a certified life coach, Honey Boom. Honey Boom. It's certified life coach Marie Pringle. In other words, if you're looking for help, God just gave it to you. Holler at your girl. Thank you all for being with us. Marie, thank you. Coach Marie Pringle. Thank you very much for being with us today, right here on We Are One.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
You've just been listening to We Are One with your girl, Angie. Thanks for rolling with me today. Come back every Monday at 12 noon for more on overcoming depression and a suicidal mentality.